Hello, everyone. I'm Jeannie Purcell. I'm the Director of Meals on Wheels of Chester County, and today has just been great. I've really learned a lot, and even if I was familiar with the name of your organization, I really didn't understand what you do. So this has been so helpful to me. I have to tell you that one of my employees was supposed to come here today with me. Her name is Patrice. She's our communications administrator, and she's the bubbly one. So I'm sorry you get me. But anyway, she's sick today, so she's not able to be here. One thing I wanted to start out with is that when you say the name Meals on Wheels, everybody pretty much has heard of it and knows what it is. But the thing is, nobody really understands that we're all different. We don't all relate to Meals on Wheels America. We're not governed by them. We don't have some standard set of rules. We're not funded the same way. Everybody is different. So in our particular county, our funding is set. We get a contract of funding, and that's all we get for the year. So if we serve more meals, we do not get more money. We just have to find ways to pay for the food. Some organizations will get funding depending on how many meals they serve. So that's where we're different. We're also different in that we don't have our own kitchen. So we use 13 different food providers to make the meals. And the reason we use so many is because it's a very big county, and we just want the food to get to our clients' homes while it's still hot. So we have volunteers that live in a certain area, go to the food provider near them, pick the food up, and then deliver in that area. So that's how we work. Coatesville is one of our biggest areas that we serve. In fact, the total meals that we serve in Coatesville is about 15% of what we serve in the entire county. The problem is, it's also the lowest income part of the county. So getting any additional payment from the clients that live there is very sparse. And I have down here on the list, oh, it's on the next screen, that we only get about 19% of client payments cover the meals. And that might sound like a lot, but if you look at just the clients that live in the borough or in the city of Coatesville, it's only 6%. So the average client will pay maybe 16 cents a meal, which is practically nothing. So funding is one of our problems, as you'll see in a moment. So this past 10 months, we've served 75 Coatesville clients. In the entire county, we've served 679. We've served about 10,000 meals to Coatesville residents and almost 70,000 for the whole county. So we have 71 Coatesville clients getting meals, and entire county right now we're up to 538. In the course of a year, it'll be about 800 because people come on and off. So as I said, the client payments are about 10,000 right now, and waiver reimbursements are about 8,000, which is awesome. Last year, I think we had one Coatesville client that was waiver. This year we have 14. And I don't know if you're familiar with the waiver program, but we don't determine who qualifies. The insurance companies or the MCOs go out and interview the clients, and they have to be just not low income, but they have to be nursing home eligible, which means they need help dressing or bathing or something in their home, so to keep them from having to move into a nursing home. So unfortunately, most of our clients in Coatesville are low income, but they're not nursing home eligible. So that's why it's surprising to me that we have so many waiver clients this year. But it's great because, as you can see, we got almost as much funding from the insurance companies as we did from the clients. And then the AHE, which thank you so much for your support, because the $5,000 you gave us up front was huge, and then we've gotten over $3,000 in matching gifts. So the total amount that we've gotten through AHE has purchased meals for an entire year for one person, plus 6 months of meals for another person. So we purchased about 1,500 meals altogether, which is huge. We do have other grants that come in just for Coatesville, but the total income for us has been $41,000, where the meal expenses were $54,000. So there is still a big gap to cover, even after we count all of our grants. The challenges we have. I want to lump the first challenge together as wait lists and volunteers, because it's the volunteers we need in order to keep the wait lists empty. And then there's funding also, but we'll start with the wait lists and the volunteers. So in the Coatesville area, we have 2 chapters or areas that we serve. The first one is the Coatesville City, and we have 3 routes that cover that with about 10 to 14 people on each route. But we still have 9 people on the wait list, and that's pretty huge. The other chapter is called Pony Express, and you might wonder why we call it that. Originally, Pony Express was supposed to cover any area in Chester County that we didn't have a food provider. But that was kind of unrealistic because it's a huge county and you can't imagine one person delivering to the whole county. So Pony Express is really just the outskirts of Coatesville. So it's people living in Conn and East Brandywine Townships, Wagontown, and more. We have 2 routes in that chapter and 14 to 16 people on a route, but we still have 6 people on the wait list. So here's the problem. In order to start a new route to get people off the wait list, you need at least 10 to 12 new volunteers. Most people only want to drive once a month or twice a month, and you've got to cover Monday through Friday, which is when we deliver. So finding that many people in one area of the county is really difficult, especially in Coatesville. We've had trouble expanding the routes in Coatesville. We were fortunate that we could do it in Honeybrook. Honeybrook, same thing. We had a huge wait list, and we just went out to the churches and we got about 10 more people, and so we were able to start a new route and get people off the wait list. But we need to do that in Coatesville. So our solutions for that. First of all, for the people on the wait list, we have to find something temporary for them. So we connect them with frozen food delivery. If they live in the city limits, they can go to the senior center for lunch, or the senior center also delivers to some people in the city of Coatesville. There's Mom's Meals, but that's for profit, and there's Visiting Angels. So we look around and see what we can find, and we go to our partners to find out what's available. And then to get the volunteers, what we have to do is really start advertising. We have the most success by going out to the churches and putting ads in their bulletins and things, but we also put ads in the township newsletters. Local companies might want to take on, say, the first Monday of the month, and then they are responsible for getting employees to take turns for that Monday. We have it on our website, and we use Facebook. And the second big challenge is funding. Like I said, our government contract is a set contract. And because it's a set contract and it only covers 25% of our administrative costs, we can write grants for specifically for food. So any money that we get from a grant does go to purchasing food. So it doesn't go to my salary, doesn't go to rent, doesn't go to anything like that. So we're able to cover a pretty big portion of the pie, but there's still 23% that we haven't covered for the remaining food costs. And a big problem again is what the clients contribute. We can only get about 6% of the clients within Coatesville City give towards meals, and they just can't afford it. We're not allowed to ask for financial details, but we take them at their word, and they tell us, I have rent to pay, I have medical bills, I have prescriptions, and we always tell them, we'll do that first. If there's anything left over, please send it our way because it helps us stay in business. But at the same time, we don't stop anybody with meals if they can't afford to contribute something. Solutions to the funding issues. Well, we need to identify some new foundations. It's great. I think this is the first year we've gotten funding from AHE, and we really appreciate that. That's been so helpful. But we're also looking for other new foundations that focus on hunger. We need to try to find some new ways to raise funds, like events. And of course, those are time consuming, and we're a staff of 6 part-time people. So we are taking all the referrals, doing the schedules, doing background checks for the volunteers, setting up all the driving, getting subs. we do a lot in the office. So it is hard to spend time doing events, but we're looking into some things that are not quite as time consuming that we're going to try this year. We need to educate the public about how they can help. A lot of the public and a lot of our clients think that the government pays for all the meals. They think we get money from the lottery. We don't. They think 100% is covered and that the meals are free. They're not free. We do pay every one of our food providers at cost for the meals. And we also purchase the trays for some of the food providers. So if we ask the clients for any money at all, it's just for the food. We don't factor in any administrative costs for the trays or any of that. We just, if a food provider's charging us $5 a day for the meal, then that's all we ask. And in most cases, they send maybe $1, if anything at all. We do an annual donor letter to all of our past donors, but this year we're also going to include our volunteers and relatives of our clients. And that's a little bit tricky because our volunteers tell us, I already give my time, I'm already paying for my gas, I'm using my own car, and now you want me to donate too? So this separate volunteer letter is going to thank them for what they already do and just explain to them that even if they give a little bit, like whether it's $5 or something, every little bit helps. So we're going to try that aspect this year. And then some of the local companies are starting to do matching more, which is great. Companies I'm not even familiar with, I'm getting emails from them saying, oh, we want you to join our matching program. I'm like, great, I'm all for it. But to talk a little bit about our volunteers, they are the eyes and the ears of our organization. Without them, we just couldn't do what we do. I mean, they're the ones that pick up the food, they deliver it, they have to be on time, and a lot of them bring their own coolers so that the meals stay hot or stay cold. And the other thing they're doing that's so important is a wellness check. I mean, they're making sure that mom or dad or grandpa or whoever is okay. So every single day I get a call from some driver saying, so-and-so always answers the door, and they weren't there today. There's no bag out. I'm really concerned. So it's our job in the office to follow up. Sometimes we have to call the local police to do a wellness check, and they might find somebody on the floor. That happened one time. It was a shame because it was a Monday, and the driver said, so-and-so's not answering. Well, here the person had fallen on a Friday night. So they'd been on the floor for the whole weekend. And they just didn't have the support system. They didn't have family local. There was nobody to check on them. So if it hadn't been for our volunteers, who knows how long they would have laid there. I mean, it's just crucial what they do, and we appreciate them so much. I also have a client testimonial for you. This was a lady who wrote after her mom had passed about how much our meals had meant to her and how much the volunteers meant to her, and volunteers would listen to her stories. And I just have a short quote here if you want to read it, but her letter was actually 2 pages long. She went on to say that after her mom passed, she was going through her things and she found a diary. And her mom had actually written down all the volunteers' names and what they meant to her, like so-and-so was going on vacation, and so-and-so just had a grandchild, and so-and-so always takes my trash out, and just on and on. And this woman was just floored at how much the Meals on Wheels meant to her mom, and she hadn't even realized how important it was. So it's so much more than a meal, and it's just great to hear these stories from relatives, from the clients themselves. And the volunteers also have great stories too. They become such great friends with a lot of the clients, and they get upset if the client's off now. They want to know, well, did they die? Are they okay? Or what's going on? And so we're happy when we can share some of that, but of course we can't always share what happened. And look who that is. So yes, again, Meals on Wheels is more than a meal. We are so appreciative of the help from the Alliance for Health Equity and from your staff, Kevin. You guys have been great, and it's just really helped purchase a lot of meals. So we thank you for your commitment and for your help.